And those are the things that one had to experience in the early stages of learning how to manage a property business. And my mother, when she built that business, when she built the back rooms, I think she somehow knew that she might pass on later, because a few months after that she had a stroke and she was hospitalized. I remember in the year 2010, she forced to want to go back to work. And her words to everybody, because she needed to be medically boarded. Who knows what to be medically boarded means? Dr. Mizo, you're the only doctor here. Anyone else? So to be medically boarded basically means you stay at home and they pay you half your salary and you don't do anything. And they called a meeting with her bosses and she asked me to be there. And in conversation with everyone, she said to them, I am coming back. She had been a nurse for 32 years. She said to them, I'm coming back to work for the hospital, because this hospital does not belong to any of you. It belongs to the government. And I have the experience and the expertise even to transfer skills to the upcoming nurses. The fact that I'm partially paralyzed does not mean my brain is paralyzed. And that's the kind of woman that raised me and that demonstrated the resilience growing up to me, to say that if you want to get something done, you need to put yourself in the right kind of mindset for you to be able to do it. And she said to me, don't ever let anyone treat you like you're incapable, especially if you know that you are capable. So she's the person who taught me how to refinance property at the age of 18, 19. I would drive her to the bank on Harrison Street in Joburg, Standard Bank, and would get there and would sit down, and with the bankers, everything that she discussed with her financial advisors, her bankers, and anyone else, I would be present in those conversations. And for her, the main thing was, when I pass away, I need you to understand how life works. She did pass on eventually. She was an only child, no siblings. So, which means I really don't have an uncle somewhere that is wealthy that I can say, Malume, I need 100,000. I can do that with my friends, but I can't do that with my family. How interesting is that? That you can call your friends, but you can call your family. So my task, I just needed to lay the ground so that you understand exactly where I come from. Because I've seen somewhere people call me privileged. Hey, I'm not privileged. If I have privilege, I work very hard for this privilege. It's a privilege to stand here in front of you people. I don't take you for granted. There are very intelligent people in this room, from doctors to lawyers to business people to speakers to engineers. I don't take it for granted that I have to be the one standing here addressing you this afternoon and addressing you on the subject of success and how we need to balance. In my opinion, there's no such thing as a balance that is given to you in success. You create it. Like I said, my mother was a nurse, and she worked sometimes 7 nights in a row without tucking us into bed. At 12, I was already being left alone with my 4-year, 5-year-old brother because my mother was going to work. There was no nanny to look after us. And we're talking the township here. We're not talking in the suburbs somewhere where you say, they're in a gated community, the security. In the township where taxis are passing. So for me to be standing here and addressing you in success tells me that I'm privileged. And I'm privileged enough for you people to give me the attention that you're giving me right now. Okay, let's wear it, So I always share these things when I talk about my own personal framework for success. In my book, I mention 3 things: faith, family, finance. And over time, I've learned to add 2 more, because life has taught me that as you go through certain stages of your life, you're going to learn to tweak some of the things you believe wholeheartedly. There are things I believed 2 years ago. When I look at them, even in my book, when I read them, I'm like, yeah. Are you sure about this one? So that means, for me, it doesn't mean I was a hypocrite. Yeah. It simply means I'm evolving and growing and starting to see life from a different perspective. So you must understand that as a human being, you are evolving. There are certain things that you are believing right now that you won't be believing 5 years from now. There are certain things you believe now that you didn't believe 5 years ago. You know, so it's important to put yourself in a position where you evolve, because life is dynamic. Life is not static. Everything changes, everything moves, and you've got to move with it. Either you move or you are moved.